Hi, I'm here to talk to you about our project called Mental Health in Athletes. The main question that we sought to understand was whether there were any correlations between types of sport and sport performance and an athlete's mental health. The reason we were particularly interested in this is because we both spent a significant amount of time in our lives competing professionally and competitively in various types of sport, most particularly in track and field and dance between the two of us. Since we both competed in individual types of sports, one of the main hypotheses we had going in was that mental health scores may be lower in individualized sports versus team sports. This actually wasn't the case when we ended up doing our analysis. Additionally, what we did see is that gender was actually the greatest indicator for mental health and outlook scores among participants in our data, and also that male athletes admitted to more risky behaviors than their female counterparts did. Lastly, our analysis showed us that further data collection would be needed to identify more groups at risk in the community, and particularly in professional athletic environments. The data that we used came from the academic involvement study that was collected in 2006 from Northeastern University. There were about 800 participants who responded to the survey, answering 600 questions each. From that data set, we actually selected a subset of 60 where we analyzed those answers further. The questions that we selected came from the following areas surrounding mental health, motivation for sport and competition, tolerance for risk and risky behaviors, and attributes of athletic success. From those questions, we created a scoring mechanism that was developed based on their responses to the questions to create health and outlook scores in those 4 categories in order to further analyze the correlations of sport, mental health, and life outlook scores. And on the right-hand side here, we are showing a visualization that we created that highlights the outcome that I previously mentioned, where male athletes have a much higher risk tolerance than their female counterparts did.
We encountered and had to handle a few challenges during our project. As Katharina mentioned, we had to use a bit of a human hand in determining how to make the survey responses from the questionnaire measurable in terms of the scoring categories we discussed earlier. We ended up putting ourselves in the position of the creator of the questionnaires and also the respondents to try to figure out which questions were most directly linked to the categories we determined were the most effective way to measure mental health scores. We also had to take into account the fact that we had limited data. This is just the beginning of this type of analysis that we could do with data like this. And we were just dealing with data from a single university with the student population at a university in the Northeastern United States. Extending the scope would allow us to provide the same analysis in professional, community, and other sports environments. We also had to view the data in various ways with different types of data visualization and search for correlations beyond the original questions that we had asked ourselves to see where the strongest correlations lied in our data. Overall, this project supports the Data for Good initiative that Columbia supports as well. By identifying at-risk groups in the sporting community, we can allocate resources and mental health support to those populations who need them most. We can also work to eradicate stigmas and other damaging environmental and societal components that might be affecting the mental health according to the analysis. We also found a way to hopefully raise awareness and engage with the public a little bit more to raise this kind of awareness for struggling athletes through an interactive component where athletes could test their, where the public, where our audience could test their intuition and see if their understanding of mental health in sports environments aligned with what the data was telling us. Overall, by expanding this experiment to other populations and gathering more data in university, community, and professional environments, we can support athletes in a better way and give them the resources they need for strong mental health. Right. Thank you for your attention with our project.